This is DMG, welcome to 70 System, and this is Treacherous Trap Tuesday, where of course we always talk about a trap, something fiendish, or something simple, or something that's really gonna get the players thinking. This one is, oh my god, my foot is stuck. So if you're enjoying these videos, thank the patrons on Patreon who help make these videos possible. Click the like button, and of course, click the bell to receive notifications of when these videos come out. Now, oh my god, my foot is stuck. A crazy little trap where essentially a character is walking down a corridor, they step on a flagstone, it sinks, and a clamp clamps around their ankle, and they can't lift their foot out. So clearly the obfuscation here is it just looks like a standard flagstone, and it's a nice small little trap that can be constructed as little compartments. It can be dotted around the dungeon, and of course the real effect of this is not to damage, but to actually trap. So the containment in this is that the player or the character is stuck in a position. Of course, the trigger mechanism is the flagstone itself. So one can imagine that the flagstone drops down, let's say about half a foot, drops down, and then this clamping mechanism locks into place. And of course, there's no way to lift your foot out because the pressure from your foot has locked this in place, and you can't lift through this thing that's now holding your foot down. So you can make this interesting. You can allow the character to turn around, but their one foot is stuck in place. So they can turn around, but it causes, let's say, 1 hit point of damage, or turning around does some kind of damage to the character just because they're twisting their foot. But they're not allowed to move. This is designed to lock them in place so that any kind of wandering monsters or guards, any kind of other fiendish things you have in your dungeon will happen upon them at a later time. How do they get out? Well, cut the dude's foot off. No, they will. There's a variety of different options, and you should allow your players to come up with solutions. It may involve something like smashing this thing open, so you can do a whole bunch of strength checks, or they got to use a prying bar or a crowbar or something to that effect in order to try and get the other character's foot out. Of course, if you want to be really fiendish, you dot other ones around. So if you're playing a gridded game, you can have ones in a random squares around in this room or corridor. So as the other characters move around, they get locked down as well, making it ever more interesting when the kobolds rock up. Or the rust monster. Or heaven forbid, the gelatinous cube. Oh my god, my foot stuck is a very, very simple trap. In terms of reset, there's no real reset because these are small little things that you can just dot around. It's essentially a one-use system. Of course, if it's something like a gelatinous cube comes along and just dissolves the bloke, or you cut his foot off, then the trap can open up and you've got this rotten, smelly, dead foot at the end, and that can be swept away. But there's no real disposal because you need to have the other elements of your dungeon coming along to clear out these bad guys, these bad adventurers.
I like adventurers around here.
You can have an adapting trap system where, let's say, they discover this trap and they avoid it and they go into the next room. But then the traps themselves is another sort of secondary trigger which rearranges these traps in the room. So they drop down and there's like a pulley system or something and then raises them up in different areas. So when the characters come back, let's say it's the only way in and out of the main event room or whatever, they now have completely randomized trapped floor again. So you could have that kind of mechanism as an adaptive thing. Of course, you can, instead of it being, oh my god, my foot's stuck, it's, oh my god, my hand is stuck. You know, the classic thing, there's a hole in the wall, you know, there's an alcove, which would be a great one. Alcove, and there's like, you know, the lure is a bejeweled statue or something that's small enough to put your hand around. Of course, the moment you put your hand around it, clamp, that's it, you're stuck. You're a baboon with an orange. There's no way for you to get out of this mess other than lopping your arm off or being dissolved by a gelatinous cube. So that's Treacherous Trap Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that one. Of course, if you have any other ideas to add to this trap, chuck them in the comment section below. Join me on Facebook and Twitter /7dsystem. And of course, the website 7dsystem.com. I will see you next week on Treacherous Trap Tuesday.